So I want you to understand something. Nothing will ever truly satisfy you or make you happy. No matter how much money you end up making, the career, the family, the prestige, the honor, whatever it is, those are all just fleeting things. And while you may feel happiness when you achieve them, it will not last. You will not have true happiness, true contentment, true fulfillment inside, because in the blink of an eye, it can be taken away. Any of those things, like tragedy could happen, your family just lost. You could get that degree and then for whatever reason not be able to ever get a job in your field. You could get that prestige or that place of whatever it is and then be hit with a debilitating illness or whatever that prevents you from being able to do what it was that you were going to do. And you can't foresee that. And if you spend your whole life or years or however much time moving towards these goals that you believe will bring you happiness, like what happens if when you reach that place, you don't actually feel happy? It turns out that you didn't actually like that. Like having that amount of money didn't actually make you feel happy. Or when you got that degree, then it turned out that you didn't actually like doing that and you didn't feel happy or fulfilled in it, or whatever it is. And like what happens if you put all that time in for, a couple weeks, years, days, years, sorry, that was mixed up, but days, years, like why do we want to put all our eggs in the basket? Why are we putting all our efforts into this if there's always that chance that it doesn't actually fulfill? Like that we don't actually feel happy. But that's the way the world's set up. It's got us running around chasing all of these external things outside of ourselves. And it's an ongoing hamster wheel. If you really step into it, it was going around and around and around and around over and over again. And you won't even realize you're just going aimlessly around and around. Or some people use the analogy, a snake chasing its own tail. Like it doesn't realize that it's chasing its tail, or even with a doggy chasing its tail. And when we chase all these things outside of ourselves, believing that they will bring us happiness or heal that hole inside of us, we just go around and around, because then when we reach it and we don't feel, more than that fleeting bit of happiness for a bit, then we just, they have so many things set up in society to distract us. Be like, well, no, actually it was this that you wanted instead. Or, well, yeah, you reached this point, but now you need to, if you're like, well, once I have a family or I get married, then I'll actually, okay, let's go with this. Once I get married and find that, my person, then I'll feel complete. So you go out and you find who you think the person is, you get married and you're living life together, and then you start to not feel happy or fulfilled anymore. And they're like, well, yeah, because next thing you need to do is you need to buy a house together. So then you put all the funds together, you put all the effort, and then you buy a house. So you feel great, yeah, I bought a house, got my, love of my life, this is great. And then, it starts to fade, and you're like, oh, something's missing, I don't feel, kids, you gotta get some kids. And so you have some kids, and then it's like, oh, I need to get, an advancement in my career, and you go on. And I'm not saying that any of those things are bad things, and it's not, and these things, and this is where it gets tricky, because of course, it can be wonderful to find that person and to have a family, or to be in the career that you love, doing what you love. Like there's nothing wrong with those things. Where the fine line comes in is when we think that those things make us happy, that we need those things in order to be okay. Like if those things can make, they can be wonderful additions to our life, but if we don't feel okay without them, then they have our power, whoever they is. Because well, I guess it's better to say like we give our power away to it, because then, if for whatever reason, whatever it is, gets taken away, or it just doesn't end up satisfying the way we want it to, then we're just stuck chasing constantly, and we'll just never end up feeling fulfilled. Whereas if you find you, and I know that's a very very Englishy thing to say, because how do you even define you? But bear with me here. If you let go of all of these external things around us, and you see them all the same, and in the way, that it doesn't matter if you have that house or that house, or if you have that job or that job, or you have this amount of money or this, it's nice to have more money, or this job versus that job, or this house versus that job, or that house versus that house. But I'm talking about your whole being, your whole identity isn't wrapped up in those things. Meaning, so if that job falls through, or the relationship fails, or you lose that house, or you can't afford it based on the economy, you're still okay, even if any of those things get taken away, or if they just don't work out, or if you just don't like them as much as you thought you would. You're okay, and you're in that place where you weren't attached to those as who you are. So you're able to be unattached, so you can go, well, based on the economy right now, and how much we're making with money at work, and how much the cost of our expenses are, and how much they've hiked up the property taxes, and this and that, it's just not financially feasible for us to stay in this house any longer. It's the amount of time we have to spend away from each other to barely make ends meet. This doesn't make sense. It's time for us to sell. Yeah, I know, a few years ago we bought this house with the intention for it to be our dream house. We're gonna live here for the rest of our lives, raise all our kids here, retire here, but it's just not really working out for us anymore. So yeah, let's sell it. This is a good time in the market, and we can do blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. That is an unattached perspective, being able to recognize, hey, life changes, things happen, and we evolve, and we make these choices to best suit how we are at that time. And that's what I'm talking about. Being able to, it doesn't matter if, this falls through, or, you don't make that amount of money that you thought you were going to make, or somebody says this or that about you. It doesn't affect you deep down into who you are. You're able to weather those storms of life, the ups and downs, because you're not attached to any of these external things. But that's not what they want you to see. Society is really based on all these external things. Because the more you chase them, the more money you spend, the more you're a consumer, and you're just hooked in to their scheme, and they profit off of your anxiety and your fears of not being good enough, not being worth it unless you do this and this and this and this and this. But when you remove yourself from that and realize the world doesn't fall apart, you don't fall apart without those things, then you gain true freedom. You gain you again. It's always there. It's just hidden away sometimes behind all these distractions they want us to be focused on. And that's my message to you today, is just to be able to take some time to pause and look at the things in your life. What's driving you to do these things, to make these choices? Do they really make you happy? Are you pretending that it makes you happy because you invested so much time into it, and everyone says that you should be happy? Are you putting all this effort in, hoping that it, when you achieve it in 10, 20 years or whatever it is, that you'll be happy then? Or, why are you doing these things? Why are you chasing these things? Is this really what you want? And just being able to really take some time to just reflect on that. You don't need to come up with the answers. And I think that's where people get confused or discouraged, because you sit down and they go and have these conversations I don't know. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I like. I don't know what makes me happy. I don't know what to do next. And it just leads into all these questions of I don't know. And then we feel overwhelmed. And so then we just go back to seeking all these outside sources to tell us what we should do next. Well, it says that, if you feel like this, after you've been married for this long, well, you need to do this. And then or if you're at this point in your career and you feel like they should do, and I'm asking you to stop that. It's okay to sit in the feelings of, I don't know. Because once you sit in the feeling of I don't know and you accept that it's okay to not know, then you're able to also accept knowing, like your knowing. Because your knowing sounds a lot different than what the world outside you is telling you, with those voices of everyone else. And sometimes what you think is you telling you inside is still those old voices from the past, our parents, those long inside internal voices that we picked up over the years. But the more you sit and the more you listen and allow them to be without judgment, without trying to do anything about them, eventually all that is like false and doesn't really resonate with you just falls away, because it doesn't have truth. See, truth doesn't need any defending. It just constantly is there. But all those lies or the things that aren't you, aren't real, they have to clamor there for your attention. They got to shriek at you and go over and over and over again. And they need you to be excited, like energetic about them, afraid, like have that energy to it. But when you're able to sit and you're able to accept your emotions and accept your thoughts and your feelings and all the things, then that which isn't you, and I know that's a very glib thing to say, but you're able to let those things that aren't to be there to just fall away. Those things that are false to fall away. And maybe there in that feels like there's nothingness. And that's okay too. Because these moments are always just here for a bit and then they move on. And when you don't say that it's bad or good, that you have so many thoughts or no thoughts or you don't know what to do, then you're able to just allow these things to come in and allow them to come out. And you're just able to go with these things. And in these moments, in this place, then we're able to no longer be dragged around by the chains of society, by the chains of all these things that have told us how we need to be, what we need to do. And we can begin to choose for ourselves. Now, I definitely don't have all the answers. Sometimes I sit there again still and I'm like, I don't know. But the more I've told myself it's okay to have those feelings that I don't know, then actually that feeling doesn't come up nearly as much. Or when it does come up, I'm like, why is that coming up here now? Oh, I see. I'm really scared about this right now. I'm really worried about this. That's what that's really masking right now. And just the more we're able to give ourselves that unconditional love and acceptance, the more we're able to come into ourselves. The more we're able to do that deep trauma healing work, the more we're able to rise up and grow and be all the things that we're meant to be. So I guess that's my long rambling thoughts for today. I feel like it was a bit all over the place, but I think it has a general message there. Anyhow, as always, feel free to reach out if you need some support. I'd be happy to set up a session with you, or like the video, subscribe. That would be great. And leave a comment if this resonated with you, if it brought up some questions in you. I would be so happy to hear from you.